afternoon, guys. Welcome back to Maverick Baking.
Oh, hi, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
And welcome to another chocolate review. Today we are back on the subject of brands I am embarrassingly excited about. Today we are going to be tasting products that I have been waiting to taste for months now. We're talking about a brand called Heist. Ooh. Heist are a tiny, lovely one-man band chocolate making company based in Cardiff in Wales here in the UK. Because their stock is created in micro batches and because there's such high demand for it, this is the first time I've been able to get my hands on this exclusive chocolate. So I managed to get my hands on 4 different brands from Heist. We have the most exciting packaging I have seen, at least since Om Nom. This is how the chocolate arrived. It came in this lovely kind of brown paper parcel. These were tied up with string. It was all very Sound of Music. And the way they're presented almost reminds me of like wartime rations or something. I don't know if that's what the brand was going for, but I really, really love it. I just think it's really enticing. There's a lot of thought has gone into it, and it also acts as a nice kind of barrier because there's that amount of padding and care taken with the wrapping and the packaging that the bar isn't going to be obliterated into a million pieces when it arrives on your doorstep, which we like. So I picked 4 flavors from Heist to taste for you guys today. We have their rich vanilla milk chocolate, which is a 59% cocoa, a standard 70% dark chocolate bar, an orange and marmalade dark chocolate bar, and also a margarita dark chocolate bar with sea salt and lime. I am super excited to get into these, so I think I'm just going to shut up and do so. So I think we're going to start with the rich vanilla milk. Now, just to give you a bit of a close-up of the packaging here, we have this lovely little chap on the front who I believe is called Tompkins, and he appears on all of the packaging, which I really, really love. You know, for such a small independent company, it's so good to see this much effort going into things. I'm looking at you, Mars and Cadbury. So this milk chocolate contains nothing but cocoa, sugar, cocoa butter, milk powder, and vanilla beans. There isn't even an emulsifier in here, which is very, very rare in a milk chocolate bar. We have this gorgeous gold wrapped chocolate bar now. You guys know by now how I feel about gold foil on chocolate. I never tire of it. It excites me and delights me every single time. It's so Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's so appealing. It's so luxurious. It even sounds nice. Just, oh, I love it. We have a layer of paper as well as the gold foil, and we have this stunning, classic looking chocolate bar. And my word, she smells cocoa-y. As this is a 59% milk chocolate, it's really quite a high cocoa percentage for a bar that would call itself milk. That is something typically you would see even in some darker chocolates. We do have a nice snap to the chocolate, which we like. It is also lovely and shiny, even after having my grubby little fingerprints all over it. You can smell cocoa, you can smell vanilla. Let's taste this rich vanilla milk and see how it is. That is utterly luxurious. You put it in your mouth, and much like the smell, the taste is very strong with cocoa. Now by that, I don't mean it's super bitter and super intense and overpowering and makes those sides of your mouth go, It's just a very bold chocolate flavor. But once you've kind of gotten past that initial taste, the texture that comes from this being a milk chocolate is just so smooth and so creamy. The balance of that milk and the vanilla to the cocoa just make this a wavy ride of pleasure through everything that is good about milk chocolate. The chocolate itself, I would say, is quite a kind of nutty taste. There's a little bit of a kind of coffee hint in the back as well there, which probably lends well to the milky flavor. And the vanilla is present and nicely kind of balancing without it being overwhelming or a bit too kind of custardy. It's definitely a milk chocolate that would satisfy you with just a few squares, but the flavor is just gloriously intense and satisfying. It's really, really good. Well, I wouldn't say you would necessarily identify it as a kind of vanilla-y milk flavor straight away. It's utterly delicious. As a milk chocolate, you're getting serious bang for your buck, and I would be very happy to give that a 4 out of 5. Let us move on. So I think we are going to tuck away our milk chocolate and delve into something a bit darker. we're getting on to our Madagascan 70% chocolate. Now this is one for my dark chocolate lovers. This contains nothing but cocoa beans, sugar and cocoa butter. There again is absolutely no emulsifier in this bar, which is very, very rare. Some people consider that to be a sign of perhaps better quality. I don't know if that is always true or if that is always the case. I think it can depend on the environment that the chocolate bars are created in. I think it can depend on the environment that the chocolate bars are being sold to. So I don't think that's a simple yes or no case, but it's certainly interesting to see. So this is a gloriously dark and wonderfully shiny 70% milk chocolate. Fantastic snap on that one. Let's get into this 70% and see what it's like. This one, again, deeply satisfying and so, so good. This is probably one of the smoothest dark chocolate bars I've had in a long time, especially without the presence of any milk, any kind of excess vegetable fats, and especially without any emulsifier. That just melts on the tongue wonderfully. This one admittedly is obviously stronger. It's a 70%, and I would say that this is quite an intense 70%, though that is balanced nicely by that nice smoothness. This one has kind of a more fruity taste to the chocolate, likely because it doesn't have the vanilla or the milk to balance it out like the previous bar. But saying that, there's nothing too acidic or bitter about it, and deeply, deeply satisfying just with a couple of squares again. I am very happy again to give that a 4 out of 5. Let us move on to our flavored bars. So I'm just going to tuck these away. Again, fantastic packaging for resealing for later, which not every bar comes with. I think we're going to take a step into the land of orange marmalade next. So this is again a dark chocolate. This one contains, again, just cocoa, sugar, cocoa butter, and orange oil. We have, again, this gorgeous, shiny, classic dark chocolate, and that orange smell, girl, that is everything that you get from the first time you open a Terry's chocolate orange or something. Instead of just orange flavoring or orange zest, using actual orange oil can make such a difference. Lovely snap again, as always. Let's taste the 70% marmalade bar. As someone who doesn't believe in powerful deities, this is one of the only things on this planet I could describe as divine. That is the perfect example of a chocolate orange bar. That orange oil with that chocolate is just knockout. If you have tasted a Terry's chocolate orange or any kind of orange flavored chocolate that's flavored with orange oil, you know that wonderfully sweet and intense orange flavor. That paired with an already fruity and very smooth and creamy dark chocolate is just heavenly. Utterly heavenly. This bar contains a tiny, tiny amount of sugar by chocolate standards, but that orange oil offers it this amazing sweetness that makes it feel like you're not even eating a 70% chocolate. It feels like something much more smooth, much more mellow, but the chocolate still kind of holds its own against that orange flavor. It doesn't totally get lost, and it doesn't overwhelm you with sugar as many other orangey chocolates can. Well, I wouldn't say it necessarily reminds me of marmalade, because marmalade obviously does have that kind of astringent, bitter factor to it. This is an absolutely glowing example of a chocolate orange bar, and I will quite happily award that 5 stars. If you like orange and chocolate together, get your gums round it immediately. Okay, let us move on to our final chocolate bar before I sink into a blissful chocolate coma. We're going to try this margarita chocolate. Now, the artwork on this one is just fabulous. So this again is going to be a 70% dark chocolate, except it contains Halen Moan sea salt and lime oil. Just look at the flaky beauty of that sea salt. That's how you know there's going to be a good balance of sweet and salty. And that lime, my word. So let's just give that glorious snap another go, and let's taste this margarita dark chocolate. Oh, that is everything a tequila shot wants to be. The flavor! So in this, you have that classic smooth, creamy dark chocolate with the kind of fruity undertones. Then you go and stick this intense sea salt flavor on there and the kind of nice satisfying crunch of the texture with lime oil, and it tastes like sunshine. It's like having a cocktail and a square of chocolate together. Everything gets balanced out nicely. The lime is very zingy, but the chocolate kind of mellows it out. The sea salt kind of balances it as well because you don't have that sort of crazy citrus flavor taking over your whole mouth. It is good. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're not into kind of salted caramel or salted chocolate, this may not be for you, as the sea salt is definitely present. But if you are a kind of sweet and salty lover, this is seriously worth trying. Also worth it just for that kind of different citrusy flavor as well. If you love orange and chocolate and you've never tasted lemon or lime with chocolate, this is it. This is your man. While this one is kind of a bit more divisive than chocolate and orange, or a bit more divisive than the plainer flavors, this one is seriously one to try and one that is relatively unique, especially against anything I've tasted on the channel, for example. For nailing the flavor and for nailing just being good, that's another 5 out of 5 for me, without a doubt. If you guys have tasted Heist or you would like to, let me know in the comments below. I would love to know what you think about this brand as a whole. If you guys enjoyed today's video, don't forget to drop a big chocolatey thumbs up and to utterly destroy the subscribe button, because I would love to see you again. In the meantime, that is all I have time for today, guys. I need a very large cup of tea to handle this very large amount of chocolate, and I will see you for the next one.